Ooh. Let me get a little. Let's see what we got. Hell yeah. I like that.
Check this audio real quick. Alright, cool. Reach. My computer is running slightly slow. Alright, cool. We don't really need this right now. Oh! Cool. My computer's being slow, unfortunately.
Bro, I'm being slow. It's been that kind of week.
I check the audio. Yep, alright, audio's good. I just want the notes to stay alright, cool. Alright. Have we started yet? Are we live?
Oh, we're live. We're just in starting soon screen.
Cool. Dope.
Brian, we see you. We see you, Brian.
My boy, Brian, has entered the chisel.
Bran Stark. Son of...
You know, I've never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones.
Have you really?
Never.
It's quite good.
Not one.
It is...
I heard the last season was bad.
Well, there's a lot to say about that, but yeah, Game of Thrones is good, man. It is history.
Also, if I can't remember another something like Game of Thrones that was such a cultural phenomenon that fell off like that.
Well, yeah.
Like it ended and then it was done, you know? Can't think of anything else.
For a while, Game of Thrones was like the Michael Jackson of television shows. Just like captured the world's imagination, you know? It is, it's one of the greatest ever.
I know, me and you both been watching.
What did you say, Spencer?
Me and you've been watching Suits. You know, it broke a bunch of like streaming records.
I'm sure they did. It's a very good show. It's excellent television.
What season are y'all on?
We just started season 9 today.
Y'all started season 9? Jeez, we just got to season 3.
Seasons like 2, 3, and 4 are fantastic, and you think that it's just going to start to decline, but it kind of just stays good. I feel like seasons 4 and 5 roughly were like my favorite in hindsight. So you'll get there, you'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we gotta finish The Good Place too. Have you ever watched that?
No, I really want to though. That's up there.
It's really good. You need to watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of watching, what do you say people watch us? We get this damn show started.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Ooh, let me get that light bulb going. Oh yeah. Where's it at? Oh, here it is.
Every time I hear that sound effect when I watch our streams back, I imagine you just walk into an old rickety barn and just pull a light.
Well, that's what we are, man. We're old, we're rickety. Our opinions are very well thought out because we're old. Which is to say we think very hard.
I kind of wish we would have started a podcast like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How much money we'd have.
I mean, it is hindsight's 2020, right? Like when you think about it, the world of content creation has blown up in like the last 5 to 10 years. But if we were in high school starting this, oh my god, we'd be doing this for a living.
I wish I had started YouTube way back then.
Oh, it was free real estate. I mean, it's still free real estate, but it was really free real estate back then.
Over in the frame at all.
Slide to your left the slightest bit. There you are.
Cool.
Bingo. Welcome to the Hashbrowns and Hashmarks and Hashbrowns and Hashmarks podcast. This is my co-host, Spanky Sanye, and I am your other co-host, Double D. We're here tonight.
Double D.
We're here tonight with a little bit of fun goodness, a little bit of
football
opinions.
Locale,
yeah, you are.
We Doing a little weekend getaway because my
I
birthday is tomorrow.
like that new house, man. That's nice. I just moved in, huh?
Yeah, like a couple hours ago.
That's nice.
But we're moving out on Sundays.
Damn. Grand opening, grand closing.
Exactly.
Just like our boy Aaron. So did you watch when it happened? Like, were you watching the game live when Aaron went down?
Yes, I was. I didn't see when he exactly went down because I had gone to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I've seen it since in the periphery on sports media.
Yeah.
And it's
wild because the way he sat down was so casual. Like, he got up like he wasn't hurt, and he kind of sat.
He knew what happened. Well,
right. It was just him being whatever he is. He's almost 40 years old at this point. It was just him saying, "Yeah, I'm hurt. I just come on over." There was no. It was like whenever Dak broke his leg and he was like trying to put his foot back in place so he could keep going.
Put it back in his
nothing
spot.
like he was
I
just
saw an interview with him the other day. Where he was talking about that he tried to put his leg back in place.
Yeah. That's wild to me, by the way. When you see athletes go into that fucking mental state to sit there and be like, okay, I'm just gonna put this back and keep going like that.
Because they don't feel it because they have adrenaline in their body.
You remember whenever Finn Balor did that against Seth Rollins like 7 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had his shoulder out of socket and he just like set that shit and then went back and just kept fighting. And it apparently came out a couple times during the match. I didn't know about this, but I saw it in an interview the other day.
Yeah, I've seen athletes that was it was one of those shows that talks about like athletes getting like injured or whatever, and this woman was like hiking and her foot slipped and she fell like off of a rock face, and when she did, her pelvis separated.
Oh,
so like she had no control of her legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't feel any pain because she was full of adrenaline because of what just happened, and she goes to stand up and couldn't walk.
Right.
So she started like crawling. But then the adrenaline died down, and that's when the pain set in. Like, she's fine now. Like, she got found and everything. She survived. But, like, it's crazy what the amount of adrenaline can do.
To
somebody. Just like, you hear, like, mothers lifting cars off of their children and type shit.
I've always heard that. I've always heard that, but I've never seen, like, video evidence of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I mean, also probably because in that moment, you would be, like, the dumbest person in the world to be record.
Yeah, but these days,
why are you recording? There's a car on a child. You need to help.
Right. I must document these events. I got to make sure that I got to prove that this mother can lift this car. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting to think about, and I don't have any stories like that because I've never been on that level. I've never been. I'm just gonna say I'm a bitch. Anytime I've ever been in a sport and got hurt, I crumple like a piece of paper. Like I just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
I've never had that experience, but.
I've never been in a fist fight in my life, but I've been hit in the face one time and I cried real hard when I got hit because it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting. I was in like 5th grade, and I wasn't expecting to get hit. And he ran at me full speed and right across my face. And it's the only time I've ever been hit, and it hurt a lot. And so like. You would like in your head, you're like, oh, I would do this if I was ever in a fight. But you don't actually know what you're going to do until it happens.
I truly believe like the no truer words have ever been said than everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly.
It just changes. Like it just something snaps and you're like, oh, I'm in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like everything goes out the window.
Yeah, there's a little NFL films clip that I see all the time, and it's like welcome to the NFL moments. And they were talking to Jim Harbaugh. Because Jim Harbaugh was quarterback for the Bears back in the day. And he was about to start his first preseason game. And he's just sitting there in his locker. And Walter Payton walks up to him and was like, hey, sat down next to him and said, hey, you nervous? He goes, no, I'm not nervous. But he was like, I actually really was nervous. He goes, I thought I was about to vomit. And Walter Payton, he goes, I get nervous before every game. And he goes, then I take my first hit and I'm fine. And he was like, wow, Walter Payton gets nervous.
Dude, it's a natural human reaction, I mean, and I've always heard that, that it's the interpretation of the stimulus. Like apparently the people, the difference, and again, this is all hearsay. I don't remember where I heard this. I just heard it and thought it was pretty profound when I heard it. But the idea is like elite athletes. Everyone gets nervous, but it's what you interpret the emotion to be. So like it could be nerves, but it could also just be excitement. It could also be like apprehension of like I'm ready to go whip ass, as opposed to like instead of thinking about all the ways it can go wrong, it's thinking about all the ways it can go right. You see what I'm saying? So like that stuff's fun to think about. I can just imagine.
Sure.
Also,
I'm gonna slide out of frame for 2 seconds.
Why, you worried about your dog?
No.
Because we see.
I wanted to grab my beverage.
Which dog is that again? Is that
That's Emmett.
That's Emmett.
The
Okay.
one direct. That's Emmett.
Okay.
Tito was in the.
I was about to say, I almost thought it was Tito, but I couldn't remember. If I was like, I think I got two dogs
Emmett's
right
the
now.
brown one.
Yeah.
The brown, not fluffy one. Tito's the white fluffy one.
Tito was an asshole to me last time I visited because I went to pet him, and I like petted him, and he was like, "That's cool." And I petted him again, he was like, "That's cool." I went to pet him the third time, and he was like, "You've crossed the line," and he fucking snapped.
Yeah.
I was like, "What did you, my man?"
Emmett is like certified an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like this dog's a butt, right? Tito is nice, but like if you touch him the wrong way, he'll just a little bit at you.
I was just like, "What is your deal, man?"
I am talking about because Daryl was asking me which dog it was that was directly behind me, and I was like, "That's Emmett." Yeah, it's weird, man. Emmett does this weird thing where he won't let anyone get close to anyone he's sitting next to.
Yeah,
like, I'll try to lean down and give Brianna a kiss. He's right there in our face, like trying to bite.
He's part Chihuahua, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
see.
You remember Joe, who, back from our hometown. He's had Chihuahuas over the years, and that was always what they did. Like, you could not get too close to them. They're just very like defensive in that manner. They don't like you to be in that bubble, you know.
And it doesn't even have to be one of us. Like, the man with special needs that Brianna's uncle takes care of. Emmett was at the house the other day, and he was sitting there with Eric, and Brianna's uncle walked in and was like trying to mess with Eric, just teasing him, just playing around, and Emmett like snapped at him and started growling. So it's like, this is my human right now. Don't be in my bubble.
Yeah, they're very like, I'm piloting this human right this second. Don't you come over here? You know?
For sure.
Yeah, dogs are wild.
Emmett's like a Sour Patch Kid. You know what I mean? Like the Sour Patch Kid commercial.
First they're sour,
break some shit, and then apologize.
Then they're sweet. Yeah, I hear that.
That's how Emmett is.
But yeah, man, back to freaking football. No, the Aaron Rodgers thing was sad, and I was bummed about it because, let's be honest, man. Like the way that it started. I know you're not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, and I don't. To me, he's kind of an asshole. But like, I have to admit, he's fun to watch. He's a good ball player, and he is very quotable. But when they had the whole injury, when he came out with the fucking American flag, MetLife Stadium, prime time, he came out, the crowd's cheering for him. It was such a big moment. I was like, damn. Yeah. I was so ready to see, because it's also against the Bills. I just knew it was going to be a big offensive game. It was going to go back and forth. It was going to be a fucking quarterback duel that everyone wanted to see. So. I know
also
they're
banned turf field should be banned.
Yeah, and I was watching an interview the other day with like one of the doctors, I guess, that was working with him, and he agrees like turf fields are the bad guy. And even Callie told me this because I was asking Callie about it, which, as you know, she's in like a chiropractic program, so she understands very well like how sports injuries work. And she like pegged it immediately. She was like, "That's Achilles, absolutely what happened to him." Sure enough, that's what it was. But she was saying the same thing as the doctor was, is like, turf fields are bad, but this would have happened regardless, because it wasn't about what was underneath him. It was about the fact that like the way he was tackled, it was just causing that stretch to happen, and at his age and everything. So,
like, you would think with as many ACLs and MCLs that athletes tear, we would have come up with some kind of implant that stops it from happening. Like, you can like go into the NFL, like, do you just go in and then just like cut the back of your leg open and they like put a rod in there, like, here,
I mean,
put this around both of these tendons?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think there's only so much you can do. I mean, the human body is already built to withstand X amount of, but it's a tough sport. I mean, that's just part of the game. You hate to see it, but that's why backups exist.
You think about all these other athletes that like had long careers and never got injured, right? Like, you look at Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, right? He eats McDonald's every day, like every meal of the day, and doesn't do any kind of health. But he's 55 years old and he looks great. It looks like he could still go out there.
Everyone's different, man. Like, I'll never forget there was back in, God, it must have been 2008. John Cena was injured. He had torn pectoral, which is the same injury Cody Rhodes had not too long ago. And you're supposed to be out, I think, like 10 months with that shit. Right.
And he came back to the Royal Rumble.
He came back like 4 or 5 months. It was some ridiculous. So everyone just heals different rates. You take your vitamins, pay your taxes, and get good sleep at night, and say your prayers. And if you're built like John Cena or Chad Ochocinco, you can come back faster. I don't know. They're talking about if Aaron Rodgers can come back before the end of the year. I doubt it, and I don't think it's a good idea. Even if he did, I don't know if it's a good idea.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers ever plays football again. I'm a big honest with you.
Why do you think that?
I think he hangs it up. He's 40.
Yeah, well, until like LeBron too. Yeah.
Yeah, look like LeBron.
The fountain of
LeBron,
youth athletes.
Yeah, LeBron has had like ticky-tack little injuries,
Mm-hmm.
except for this like last big one that he had that kept him out for a little while. But like, he's talk about longevity, and like you look at the word longevity in the dictionary, LeBron is right there.
Yeah,
like it's incredible what LeBron James has done for the sport of basketball. But
that's why the best sport to play is golf, because you can stay healthy a long ass time. Just don't get in car wrecks. Like, yeah, just don't get in car wrecks like our boy Tiger does. So that does not go well.
Also, don't cheat on your wife and have her beat the snot out of
yeah,
you.
maybe don't be the most impressive famous golfer in the world. That way, those things don't happen to you, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. What did
be the third or fourth best golfer in the world?
What did Ron White say about that one time? He was like, don't try to sleep with the best golfer in the world. Sleep with the best frisbee golfer in the world. Yeah. Nobody's lining up to bang that dude.
He said Tiger doesn't get any credit for all the women that he turned down. He went 18 That's for 20. See, he went 18 for 27,000. That's less than 1%. That's love. Anyways.
I also love when he got out that. It was after that whole Tiger thing, and he was like, Tiger Woods was just out there dicking around.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
So I got a question for you. I didn't want to talk about this, but I feel like it needs to be talked about because we talk about college football. It's a big deal. Whether I want to admit it as an A&M fan or not, it's a big deal. Texas downed Alabama last weekend. No big fucking deal.
Yes,
Matthew McConaughey in the crowd over there doing his thing, raising his hands and saying, doing his whole thing, and then it felt like everybody and their brother was at that game. Game day was there. There were celebrities. It was huge. All eyes are on this game, and Texas finally came up big. What did you think? Did you think that Texas was that impressive? Do you think that Alabama is just having a down year because they just lost their quarterback and they're moving on to this? Is it Monroe, the guy? Is his name?
It's Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, Milroe. He played one game last year, and that was a game that A&M was like one play away from beating them. So
yeah.
And he clearly has a lot of improvement to do. So, but you watched the game, didn't you?
I watched part of it.
Okay. Were you impressed? Were you impressed with Alabama? Were you impressed with Texas? Do you think it was more that Texas is good, or do you think it was more that
I think Alabama is fighting, and I think Texas is that good. Brian says, "Hi, what's the reason here? Reminding you not to drink the Colorado Kool-Aid. They're going to be 6-6 this season." We'll get to that in a second.
Let me look at their schedule and see if I can draw an opinion on that, because I want to say I disagree, but I also want to say you kind of might be right.
But yeah, I think Texas is genuinely that good.
I think so too.
And it also proves our point that we talked about all last year. If Quinn Ewers plays the entire game last year, they win.
Yeah.
They should have won anyway.
Yeah. No,
I definitely won.
For sure. And I think, to me, honestly, what was really impressive was that they did it on the road. They did it in a big way. I mean, they stayed with it the entire game. They held a lead pretty confidently. They were able to move the ball, and I think their defense was again, I hate to say this as an A&M grad and fan, but they had a Big 12 defense. They were stout. They were stout on the offense. They were stout on the defensive line. The secondary was solid. They were able to make Milroe do all kinds of stuff that he was not comfortable doing. You could tell. I mean, he was shaking a lot during that game. They look good, man. As much as I hate to say it, can they close it out? I think they're going to be I think they're a lock for the Big 12 championship. I think they'll win it confidently. Honestly,
I think it's going to be Texas. It's going to be Texas and Kansas State.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm trying to find it.
It's the only other competition they really have. Texas Tech might slip in there, but they've already got 2 losses. But it's not conference losses.
Right.
But Texas Tech slip in there. Or Kansas. Kansas might also slip in there. But I think it's going to be Kansas State and Texas, because Kansas State has Oklahoma's number. That's like the other. That's the big 3 in the Big 12 right now. Kansas State's had Oklahoma's number for years. And I think Texas is probably going to beat Oklahoma this year. So
yeah.
I think it'll be Texas and Kansas State.
But yeah, well, I'm with you, man. I think Alabama doesn't feel like this is one of those years where they lose 2 or 3 games. They drop this one early, and then they kind of rally, and then they're going to drop one to LSU. They're going to drop one to LSU and right.
It's going to be some combination of those, right? Or Tennessee. They'll probably lose Tennessee.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I saw a TikTok this guy was talking about, and Funny Main responded to him with some very good counterpoints. But the point the guy was making was that once that transfer portal opened, Alabama couldn't convince kids, 4 and 5 star kids, to come ride the pine for 3 or 4 years behind NFL rosters and hoping to get a chance. You can't really do that anymore because you can just transfer and go everywhere. So like, it's going to start to slide.
You could transfer now. You can get paid now, and it's completely you completely change the game. And you know,
Nick Saban perfected that system. He played the system perfectly, but then the system caught up, and you notice he was one of the ones that was against the transfer portal and NIL. It's because he can't do what he's always been doing. And like, Nick Saban's obviously the GOAT college coach,
Yeah.
So
well, and you also just build. I think
grip on the sport that he used to.
And I think honestly, Alabama has always been sold as just the route. Like you go here, you play well, you go high in the draft in the NFL. Like that was the route. But there's more routes now. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go somewhere, play very well, be a highlight reel, and get in, and get paid now. By the way,
because it all comes down to attention, right? Mm-hmm. Think about all the players that it's happened several times in the last few years. Players have one good season of college ball, put up crazy numbers, and they get their high draft pick. Zach Wilson, perfect example. He had like a year and a half of good college ball at BYU, and the Jets used a top 5 pick on him. I'm rooting for that. I like Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's top 5 pick worthy.
I like that stupid headband he wears. I cannot stand that headband.
You look at Trey Lance, and I'm not going to talk about Trey Lance because he's on our team now, right? He's Cowboy.
Yeah, but I see your point. Yeah.
He had one good year at NDSU.
It's honestly, it feels like it's
COVID, and then went to the draft.
It feels like it's almost becoming more like college basketball, where like the college side of it is just sort of a stepping stone. I mean, it's always been sort of a stepping stone because the ultimate goal is to make it all the way and go to the NFL, of course, and secure your future. But there's
way more one and dones in college basketball to the NBA than there are college football in the NFL.
And I think that you're starting to see a little bit more of that because of the amount of transfers and the amount of NIL. That I think the culture of it is changing.
Oh, for sure.
So
I think eventually we're going to get to a point where they're going to have to change the rule that says you have to be 3 years out of college before you have to be like 3 years out of high school before you can declare for the NFL draft. They're going to bump that down, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to see like a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or a Bo Nix. They're going to want to see these players come out earlier than they should. And also, I think they should change the rule that like once you like declare for the NFL, I think if you declare for the NFL draft and you don't get drafted, you should be able to go back to school. You know what I mean? You should be able to go back to play college ball, and then put up some more numbers. And then 'cause that's what they do in the MLB. Like you can get drafted out of high school and like, no, I'm going to go to college, and then you enter the draft again and get drafted to whoever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think you should absolutely be able to go back and potentially change your stock a little bit, coach up, get better, play better, et cetera, et cetera.
Because how many times have we seen it? They're like, "Oh, this guy's going to be a top pick in the draft," and then he gets hurt.
Yeah.
And then he's drafted.
Or how many times have we seen a 6th-round draft pick that no one really thought much of develop and become something special?
Like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love went to like pretty late, didn't he? I don't know when. So. I think he went late because he's playing great right now.
For example, 6th-round pick Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah,
he hasn't played. I mean, we've only had 1 week.
Well, but the bottom line is like all positions. It's not about. I think even like Shannon Sharp was like a 3rd or 4th round pick, and that was the whole reason he was able to make the team to become a Hall of Famer is because no one could cover him. Like the bottom line is the man worked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
also, I think there's something to be in certain situations. It's better to be like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick than it is to be like a top 10 pick. Because if you're a top 10 pick, all the attention and pressure is on you. You don't have time because you probably get thrown in a starter immediately.
Right.
You don't have time to develop and sit behind somebody and learn.
Yeah.
All these other. So if you're.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Patrick Mahomes being able to sit back and learn behind what's his face. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Alex Smith,
being able to sit back and learn the offense, listen to Patrick Reed, understand all the stuff that was, and Andy Reid, and hear everything about, understand the system. And honestly, I think that's what's made Cooper Rush pretty good as a backup for Dallas, for what it's worth. But I think, it's about time in the system,
I would like to remind you that the Chicago Bears, traded up in that draft and took Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes.
Listen, man, it's about win, and it's about if it's a match. There are some players who just work better with certain coaches. But I want to derail this conversation and go back because Brian was mentioning the Ducks. Excuse me, he was mentioning Colorado going 6-6. I want to take you through their schedule, and we're just going to go one by one, and you tell me just at the gate. Don't think about it too hard. Who's going to win these games? All right. So we had Colorado State tomorrow night. Colorado, cool. Then next week they go to Oregon. Go play the Ducks.
They'll lose that game.
You think so, huh? Oregon is currently sitting as a 14-point favorite in that one.
Oregon will win that game.
All right. USC. Mm-hmm. We got Arizona State.
Colorado will beat Arizona State.
Okay. So we're at 2 losses so far. Stanford.
They'll beat Stanford.
Think so?
I think so.
UCLA.
50-50.
Yeah, I know, right? That's kind of a toss. Okay, so that's 2.5 at this point that you're saying they're losing. Oregon State. I don't know. Oh, yeah, how does it say? I don't know. So that's 3.5 right there. Arizona. Okay, they'll get that one. They'll get that one. Washington State. That'd be a good game.
I'm going to say Colorado, but
on a whim. And then the Utes.
Utah.
Yeah. So, listen, Brian, I'm with you. I agree with that for the most part. My only reluctance is, and I know TCU last year was all Max Duggan. And it was very clear that was the case in the national championship, but still a very well-coached team. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to sit here and say it, but I kind of agree. Like, I really, really, really want them to do better, but yeah, I think people are kind of oversighting the fact that they're going to go.
I think their best case scenario is 10-2.
Yeah, because they're not beating USC, and they're gonna drop one either to Oregon or to Utah.
Or Oregon State's really good too.
Probably. So yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna say those 4 for sure: Utah, USC, Oregon, and Oregon State are for sure losses.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know. We haven't got there yet. They could play well.
Now,
I doubt it because USC is scared.
Let me tell you this. If they do show up to Nike Academy and they've somehow beat the Ducks, watch the fuck out. Like, if they do that, oh no. We may be looking at another game day.
It's going to be the next week.
I was going to say we might be looking at another game day over there.
They got game day and big noon kickoff this Saturday.
Yeah, so.
And speaking of Colorado,
and I think it's because. Yeah, explain this to me, because I heard he said some stupid shit and it kind of made himself the bad guy. Like, literally nobody, even half of his own fan base, won't be rooting for him, as I understand it.
Yeah, he said I'm paraphrasing, but
he said my mama told me to tell you.
Yeah, he said when I'm talking to adults, I take my hat and sunglasses off. That's what my mom told me. That's what he said. Oh,
that's what this is. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, why? You literally did not have to say that.
Mm.
They were already going to smoke you, and now he's going to hang sad the deal. You
right.
know what I mean?
Right.
He's going to run the score up because it's personal now. If you've watched any of Deion Sanders at Colorado, that's what they did last week when Matt Rule at Nebraska, they went stood on the Buffalo or whatever, and Matt Rule tried to play it off like, no, we were praying. And Shadur Sanders was like showing him that Nebraska guy's watch. And he was like, it's personal now. And they're going to blow you out the water, Colorado State. Let
me tell you something. If I am Deion Sanders or I am someone of the Colorado program, I am finding a way to fabricate someone in Oregon saying some really deeply personal shit about Deion Sanders or his son. And I'm trying to leak that so that I create that same level of a chip on shoulder.
You can say the same thing about USC.
As soon if Oregon does anything to make it personal, still think the Ducks are a better team. Still think they have more talent all around. Still think they're probably going to be better coached, because as much as I love Deion, and he's a hell of a motivator, and he's obviously doing a great job with this program. I don't know that he has the same level of experience, at the same time, the same level of situational awareness I don't know. He's a brilliant mind. I think that's absolutely true, but I don't think he has the mileage in just yet. Because of that, I'm probably going to pick Oregon that week. But let me tell you something, man.
I am on the Buffalo's bandwagon.
Of course, and how can you not be? Who doesn't like Deion? You know, like.
And a lot of people who are talking bad about Deion are like, some of it, if you look at it, it's like, that seems thinly, like, it's like thinly veiled and some hints of like prejudice, a little bit of racism here and there. Because it's like, you wouldn't be saying this if Deion was white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just some of the people that talked about him, and it's like, you don't have to talk about him. You could just play a football game against him.
Yeah.
And you did, like Colorado State. Colorado State coach. You did not have to do that.
Let me look up the comment. I want to see what actually was said because now I'm curious. Let's see. So what was his name?
Jay Norvell.
Comments. Let me look up the comments. Jay Norvell. Okay, the jab. Here we go. It's loading. And Jay Norvell jabs at Deion Sanders ahead of the Colorado rivalry game. Let's see what the quote was. Okay. Okay, the Rams. Okay, so he says, I don't care if they hear this in Boulder. I told them being ESPN, I took off my hat and I took my glasses off. I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
And that may be true, but you didn't have to say that.
What that is
you didn't even have to say, even if you didn't say, and I hope they hear this in Boulder, everyone knows who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And literally the entire planet knows who you're talking about. Right? So it's like, it's just, you don't have to keep disrespecting people.
I cannot wait. Quote me on this. Final score, right? It's going to be something in the neighborhood of like Colorado 63, Colorado State 10. All right? It's going to be some shit. You're going to see Deion walk out on the middle of the field. As soon as he goes to shake the hand, hat and glasses come off. He's gonna take them both off, put it back on. Just to tell, I whipped your ass.
I guess there's some sunglasses called blenders, and I guess Deion's got a pair. They're like all gold. He gave a pair to the whole team today, and then he gave a pair to Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, and Molly on First Take, and then he gave a pair to the whole
First Take crew, or the whole
First Take game. And the whole Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching that today, and they all had the fucking shades on.
Yeah, and it's like Colorado was already going to win this game by like a lot. Now they're going to win by even more.
Yeah.
Because they're motivated.
Brian says
so I guess we get that pick out the way. Colorado at number 18, Colorado State, battle for Colorado. Game day, big noon kickoff are in town. Who you got, Errol?
No.
I got the Buffaloes by a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo. Boulder's going to be rocking. The weed is going to be good in Boulder tomorrow night. It's going to be a great time in that. But lovely place, by the way. We've been there. The air is just different. It's gorgeous. I mean, you look any direction, there's mountains. It's going to be a starry sky. Oh, it's going to be. That's a game you'd love to. I'm pretty sure it is. Usually it's the game day game, is a night game, but would love to be there for that one.
UT in Alabama was an 11 a.m. kickoff.
That's true.
But also because it was also on Fox.
Yeah.
And Big Noon Kickoff was there.
Ducks says, Brian says Ducks always play down. Yeah. Ducks Callahan says Ducks always played on the competition. Spread is 14. We beat Colorado by 1-3 points. You know, we always say that about the Cowboys. They play down a competition. I don't think that's a real thing. I hear that too often. I think that just good football teams play each other well.
You know who else plays down a competition? The Houston Astros.
Exactly.
Because we could be the best team on the planet, but the Oakland Athletics are going to sweep us in the series.
It's just a fallacy, you know.
Baffling.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a fun game, and obviously we'll be talking about that one a lot next week. But all that to say, yeah, I give me Colorado tomorrow, and
Brian says he'd love to go to Red Rock someday. Me too. I want to go watch the show there.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. I guess we can keep picking games unless you got something else you want to talk about. We're already halfway through the show. It's about a game.
Covered.
It's picking time.
Talking about Texas and Bama. All right, we got number 7 Penn State at Illinois.
I'll get some shit up on the screen.
These two played in the longest college football game ever. It was 9 overtimes. But also, we don't recognize that as 9 overtimes because of these stupid bullshit overtime rules they think.
I don't mind it.
It was this exchange.
You and I disagree on the rulings in sports that try to speed shit up, because I'm actually all about it. I really don't. If it speeds the game up, I really don't mind. You said put Penn State and Illinois?
Yeah. Penn State and Illinois.
Okay.
7 Penn State at Illinois. But yeah, I think I'm mostly okay with it in football. Like when they said out loud that in college ball the clock isn't going to stop on a first down anymore. Saying that out loud sounds like the worst idea. And then you watch the game and like nothing has really changed.
No, and it's going to prepare them for the NFL better as well. It's going to, like, if you're an NFL scout, you're so goddamn happy they're doing this, because now it's going to prepare them for actual game time situation. Like, that's going to cut down the amount of time it's going to take for them to get up to pace in practice, and actually it's going to decrease the amount of time it takes for a rookie to actually start more in the NFL.
Yeah, and see, like, you watch it and you're like, oh, and then you look at the stats and it's like the games have been like ever so shorter, right?
Yeah, like 30 minutes cut off instantly.
Yeah, but I think like the one sport I will like forever disagree with, like speeding the game up, is baseball.
Yeah, I get it.
I hate this pitch clock, because baseball was the one untimed sport.
My dad
Baseball
told me
could take
that.
2.5 hours. Baseball could take 7 hours.
Stop me if I asked you this last week, because I thought I did, or I meant to. But my dad told me he was watching the Astros a few weeks ago. He said that whenever they got to like the 10th inning or the 11th inning in extra innings, that they just started each team with somebody on second to speed the game up.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
So.
That's a thing.
It was a thing for for a little bit, but they talked about doing that. But I don't know if it's actually a real thing.
Gotcha.
Like I know they tested it, but I don't know. I think it was something they only do in the regular season. I don't think they do it in the playoffs. But
I get it, because at the end of the day, like if you're the MLB, if you're the NFL, you have an obligation and a duty to, before anything else, you have to take care of like the safety of the players. Obviously, that's kind of the number one thing. But then after that, you have to make content, and when that content is scheduled around TV deals and advertisements and TV blocks, et cetera, like it is your job to, number one, make it interesting, and number two, make it the amount of time it's supposed to be advertised to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But also, if you think about, they want advertisements in games, you would think they would want the game to be longer so they could fit more advertisements in the broadcast.
Yeah, and that gets into the legalities and stuff that I don't fully understand. I think the idea is just that if a game goes on too long, because if it's one of those things where if it goes on too long because they're in extra innings or they're in overtime because it's actually just that close of a game, is that competitive, great. But they're also looking for viewer retention. And if it's a slow-ass game and nothing's really happening, yeah, we want to get out of here now because we want to get to another program that's actually going to give us ad revenue from people watching it.
Yeah, like...
So I think that's what it's really about.
That 3-0 Steelers over Dolphins game...
Well, right, like, yeah.
...would have been, like... They want that one to speed up. But,
yeah.
Like... I remember watching that game when I was younger. That game was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, you said the Illini and the Nittany Lions?
Yes, sir. Remember, I got Penn State.
Yeah, I got Penn State. This is
not good. I just put it because it was like one of the only other interesting matchups. And then we got number 14, LSU, my Tigers, going to Mississippi
They're number 14 with one loss. That's wild.
But also, we lost to Florida State, who's like number 4. So.
Yeah.
Number 3, actually. Florida State's number 3.
You mean to tell me Will Rogers is still at Mississippi State?
Yes, sir, he is.
Unbelievable. All right, who you got?
I don't know, man. Like
you don't know, do you?
Mississippi, like that air raid offense. I know it's that Zach Arnett's first year to coach over there, but like he's still running that Mike Leach air raid. You can never count that thing out, man.
R.I.P.
Like, Starkville can be, yeah.
Let me tell you something.
A crazy place to play sometimes.
I have seen this film before. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. It's early in the year. LSU's already in panic mode because they've lost one. Give me Mississippi State confidently by like 10.
It'll be like a couple years ago when they upset us in the first game and we just weren't ready for it.
Hell State. Give me the Bulldogs in this one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think, obviously, Mississippi State's going to be throwing it all over the yard. And LSU is going to have to do that at some point because they're not going to be able to rely on the running game because Mississippi State's going to put up a bunch of points. Yeah, man, I'm with you. As much as I hate to say it.
Really? Oh, okay. Hey, write our shit down.
Like a touchdown. I almost said LSU by a field goal, but you could just see it going that way.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think happened with LSU.
Now, we could be wrong, Horace.
We got lucky. We played Alabama in a really good game last year and ended up winning. And it set our expectations way too high in Brian Kelly's second year.
Well, and if I think
that's what happened.
And maybe that's true. And the other part of this, I think you got to think about as well. We could be very wrong. LSU could fucking mollywop Mississippi State this weekend, and which I think means that Florida State, Mike Norvell has a team that is truly deserving of being in the top 10. I think that Florida State might actually just be that good, you know.
It could be that good. It's very real.
But you know how the first couple of games it's all a puzzle. We're trying to figure out who's actually good. You know what we have to go off of. Everything's relational to what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Red Raiders had me sweating. Hell yeah.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought Texas Tech had a chance, but then they threw a pick six on that last drive.
Well, you know.
Tough break for Texas Tech, man. They get upset by Wyoming and then
rank
they go
Wyoming.
down the wire with a highly ranked team.
Rank Wyoming, you fucks. Wyoming gonna fuck around and get Texas fits this weekend. You mark my words. Wyoming.
Texas gonna win. I almost put that one on the list.
Mark my words. It could happen. It would be the most Texas Longhorn shit ever to have a incredible win in Tuscaloosa.
Brian, he said cut 2-minute warnings from the NFL. They just exist for ads. I agree with you. Cut the 2-minute warning.
It does feel that way.
I think it gives my team an extra time.
Yeah, well, again,
I think it's so unnecessary.
Again, it's content. They're trying to make the last 2 minutes more exciting. But
of course.
I get it. But I will say,
actually, you know what? That would not matter. Like, you could argue both points. Like, yeah, keep the 2-minute warning, or get rid of it. And
it only bothers me in the first half. And I'm just like, let's just get to halftime already. Second half, I'm like, hang on, chill. Wait. 2 minutes left. What's going on? But I'm with you. It gives and it takes
Brian
away.
Says players and coaches know there are 2 minutes left. They don't need a warning. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I will say though, would it not be the most Texas Longhorn shit of all time to go and have that spectacular?
And lose to Wyoming.
Wyoming could just be the Big 12 killer this year. That's all I'm saying. Give me.
Because they beat Texas Tech, they get to be the real Pistol Pete.
Mark my words, Wyoming might actually win this weekend. I don't know.
Not Texas.
I'm just saying. I don't think so. I'm just saying it could happen.
It could happen. All right, next we got number 15, Kansas State at Missouri. Old Big 12 game from back in the day. Not really that much. It's kind of a rivalry, but not really. It's Kansas and Missouri is the rivalry. Yeah. Kansas State's got a really good team. Their quarterback's playing well. I don't know anything about Missouri this year. I haven't watched them at all. I think they've won a couple games.
Yeah, they've beat a couple of nobodies. Yeah, this is the first real test for either team because you start out with quote unquote lesser opponents. But this is the first Power 5 opponent for either team. So yeah, you get a real test to kind of see what each one's actually like. This could be closer than people think, just because again neither one has really played anybody yet. So this is the first real test. I think K-State's going to win it. I think they have more talent all around. I think that their program's headed in a direction they really like. And like you said earlier, it could be them in Texas for the Big 12. So give me the Wildcats. The Wildcats big in this one.
I'm also going to take the Wildcats. I'm just putting that down.
Wildcats.
Battle of Big Cats this weekend, but yeah, give me the Wildcats.
All right. Sure. What else we got, my boy?
We've got Minnesota at number 20, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, good to see Drake May in action. This is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Watch out for him, man.
PJ Fleck still doing his thing at Minnesota. Although there was kind of some allegations that have come out about him doing some weird stuff. Apparently, they every time he walks in a room, he asks his players to give him a standing ovation, which is some of the most egotistical bullshit I've ever heard of.
What kind of cult leader shit is that?
Exactly, some cult leader shit.
Oh, everybody, Spencer's here. Greatest co-host of all time. Goated.
Yeah.
Goated.
That would be. I remember in high school I put a thing on Facebook.
Kind of Riverdale shit.
You ever heard the song Houston, Atlanta, Vegas by Drake?
I don't think I have, no. Or if I have, I didn't know it was called that.
I put a Facebook post up, and I was like, I want the beat to Houston, Atlanta, Vegas to play every time I walk into a room. and one
to be your entrance theme?
I don't know if you knew him. He was my classmate. His name was Nick Tazzino.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into class one day. I had a class with him. He goes, turn around, walk back out, and we'll play for me. So I turned around, walked back out. He walked in and hit the instrumental. He had a speaker. It was hilarious.
Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, give me North Carolina.
Yeah, give me the Tar Heels. There's like not a lot of interesting games going on this weekend. So I'm looking at it. I guess as far as college football goes, it's a little weak. Nothing. Florida, Tennessee should be interesting. Maybe. I've watched the NFL this year. Most I've watched the NFL in a long time, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Oh, it's so much fun, man. Vegas says Colorado's going to win this game this weekend by 23.5.
It's going to be more than that. And then we got number 11 Tennessee at Florida, known as the third weekend in September.
Yes, sir.
Florida is bad.
Yeah.
Like
weird.
Really bad.
It's one of those. Florida is either terrible or great. It's so you never see just kind of a mid Florida. They're always.
Florida's going to be bad for a while, right?
All right, tell me.
Current starting quarterback at Arizona State, Jaden Rashada, was full on committed to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They offered him an NIL deal worth $13 million. Something crazy. Yeah. Damn. Astronomical numbers. He gets there and they're like, you know what? We're only giving you $5 million. And then he was like, that's not what you promised me. Backs out of his letter of intent, transfers to Arizona State, where he's now the starter. Let me tell you
how
why
much
that
they
just
paying him?
I don't know. But let me tell you why that just cooked Florida.
Ain't no goddamn way Arizona State's giving him $5 million or 13 mil.
I don't know what he got at Arizona State, but he didn't go to Florida.
What the fuck? Continue.
He was 4 or 5 star quarterback, right?
Continue.
So here's why that's going to cook Florida for a while. Because all these other recruits that are going to go to Florida are going to see, oh, they offered him all this money and then said they were going to give it to him. Why would I go there? They could pull my offer at any time. I think Florida's recruiting is about to be in the toilet for a few years.
Well, you know what they say. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me can't get fooled again. Can't get fooled again, Spencer. That's that is you. That's an excellent point, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's a weird problem to have because since the NIL thing is real now, like there is very much like you can pull. There will be deals potentially be pulled, be minimized, et cetera, et cetera. That shit gets around because recruits talk. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, they do.
I don't know, man.
Also, give me the Volunteers by like a lot.
Yeah, give me the Vols. They got out to a weird start last week, didn't they? They got into kind of an awkward start.
For a second.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but then they came back and like blew them out.
Yeah, early season. Yeah, college football is so strange sometimes. It's so hard. That's the one thing I'm realizing about the NFL is I feel like I actually understand who is good at. Like, I feel like the games are actually more telling of what teams are good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in college ball, there's a lot of like this team is probably the better team, but they're shooting themselves in the foot because there's clearly like discipline issues. There's clearly like inexperience getting in the way. The NFL is like, oh, this team's just coached very well. They understand what they're doing. They've figured out their identity, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe Tennessee's just figuring it out. But yeah, give me the Vols as well.
Yeah. I think Tennessee's gonna rock them. Yeah.
Is that all our college games?
Segment. Yes, sir.
All right, on to the. Let me ask you a question, and I might be going out on a limb on this one, but do you think that we have you think our defense is any good?
I think it's the best defense in the league, and I that's why I drafted them in fantasy. I told y'all I was like, y'all have the best defense. You
did. I give credit.
I started Justin Herbert as my quarterback over Dak.
Hey, real quick, just a little quick humble brag. Last night in that Thursday night football game, I had 2 players in. I had Jalen Hurts and I had Hawkinson, the tight end for the Vikings. 50 points in 2 players. Bro, I'm I'm doing okay this year. I'm out to a good start. But yeah, the Cowboys playing the Jets. This is going to be a fun game. And I think what I'm really excited about this game, obviously the defense, Dallas is going to do their job. It's going to be Zach Wilson, not Aaron Rodgers. So I truly don't think that the Jets are going to score more than maybe 10, 13 here, if I'm being honest with you.
The Jets defense is really good.
Well, the Jets, and that's why I'm interested, because we saw what Josh Allen did. Like, there's been a lot of comparisons. Josh Allen is the Dak of the AFC. There's been a lot of comparisons as far as interceptions and things like that go. I'm interested to see. This is going to be a very good litmus test to see just how Dak actually compares to Josh Allen in that regard.
When it comes to picks, I will say this. If you watch Josh Allen's entire career, that 3-pick game is stuff he does all the time.
Yeah.
Dak had one bad season. If you look at the numbers, the way Dak has always done it, Dak's always been pretty careful with the ball. Like I think he's in like top 8, top 10 when it comes to TD to interception ratio for his career.
It was a rough year last year, and I think that was because
his thumb wasn't healed.
Well, maybe that's part of it, but I think there was also just the fact of, I think that was, and I've said this before, but I think that was a lot of Kellen Moore being afraid. Because what do you do when your quarterback throws a pick? What you're going to do is, an offensive coordinator, you're going to try to do something to get him some easy balls. You're going to try to get some stuff that's kind of underneath, very straightforward stuff that's not going to be, super duper downfield. And I think he did that well, and that kind of did help him. But whenever you're playing a defense like the 49ers, who just understand, like, oh, now he's going to get the easy throws, they were able to just sit, not worry about anything over their head, because they know that's not going to get called, and they were able to sit down and just take the shit out the way, take picks, get guys as soon as they caught the ball, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it really just comes down to, like, from an offensive standpoint, if he throws a pick, they have to be confident enough to keep going deep.
But here's what I will say about the difference between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy calling the plays. This past game, we were already up like 26, maybe 33-0 over the Giants.
Yeah.
They stopped us with third down. It was third and long. In that situation, what would Kellen Moore have done? He would have dialed up some fancy screen play, some random bullshit. He would have tried to get way too cute. You know what Mike McCarthy did? He ran the ball and punted.
Yeah.
Because we were already up by a lot of points and our defense was playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Moore.
And it's not, and I hate to make the comparison, but it's doing what Josh Allen and the Bills failed to do last week, which was just playing it like you have the lead. You're playing at this point for time. Like, you just, at this point, hang it up. Like, we're clearly struggling to move the ball in this Jets defense. Let's just run the ball. Let's just take care of the ball. Let's punt it deep. Let's let our defense take care of Zach Wilson and get out of here with a win. And it just felt like they were constantly trying to push and try to get something going, when in reality, like, you just have to take care of the ball. Take your 3 or 4 yards here on little screen plays, whatever.
I'm going to make this comparison. I don't know how much NBA you pay attention to.
None.
Do you know who Ja Morant is?
No.
Ja Morant plays for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
You remember that meme that I sent you the other day about Josh Allen, but it was Jeff Hardy, like, about to jump off a ladder?
Yeah.
The same memes have been made about Ja Morant. So I'm going to say that Josh Allen is the Ja Morant of the NFL.
That's fair.
Because Ja Morant will attempt a dunk over anybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Like, he's had a couple where he missed the dunk, but if he'd have made it, it'd have been one of the best posts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's Josh Allen plays hero ball. That's what he does. He pushes too hard, and he's made some incredible plays, but also he has games where he throws 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, like, I think Josh Allen is very good, but I just don't. I wish they would talk about, and Emmanuel Acho put it on there. I wish they would talk about Josh Allen's interceptions the way they talk about Dak Prescott's interceptions.
Right.
Or any other quarterback for that matter who doesn't play for the Cowboys. Because Emmanuel Acho, he goes, you know what, y'all are right. If Dak would have thrown 3 interceptions in his first game against the Giants, then we'd have every show would have done a 30-minute segment. Mm-hmm. They would have crucified Dak for that shit.
Yeah.
So,
but that's why I'm interested. That's why I'm interested for this game.
Media bias against the Cowboys.
Sure.
And it always has been.
But that's why I'm interested for this game, because it's going to be a good litmus test. You literally get to see exactly the same test the Bills had last week, but you get to see what the Cowboys can do with it. I think the Cowboys will win this game just because the defense is going to keep them in it. I think that the final score is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, like, it's going to be low scoring, because I think the Jets defense is real. I think it's going to be like a 20-6, 20-9, something like that. Relatively low scoring.
I think if you watch that Jets offensive line, the way the Bills were able to get pressure, That offensive line is Swiss cheese. It's going to be a long night.
It's going to be a long night, yeah.
St. Lawrence and Micah Parsons are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Odigizua and what's our other? I can't think of his name. We had 2 interior defensive linemen who were like kind of backups. Like they're really good, but they're not like. Dorrance Armstrong. They had 2 sacks against Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if
everybody's getting a cut.
Yeah. If you look at the way the Cowboys were playing defense, Dan Quinn had like safeties playing linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Like number 14, I can't remember his last name, on our defense. He's like a safety, but he was like down in the box playing linebacker, and he stopped Daniel Jones on that one play.
Yeah.
It was
that was adapting because
Thomas.
Yeah, and we talked about that during. That's what we talked about during the game because what happened in that first drive. People forget that first drive. The Giants are moving.
Oh, I thought we were cooked.
And but the adjustment they made was they were like, we have to get somebody fast on Daniel Jones. So I think that's why they started bringing some of those safeties down and started doing like those little spy coverages and stuff.
And then when Wanye Thomas blocked that field goal and Noah Igbenogany ran it back, with great name by the way, incredible name. But yeah, I was like, it felt good to watch a Cowboys game and not be stressed out about it.
Yeah, for sure. Brian says one of my brothers has Herbert and Eckler on his fantasy team, and another one has Tua, which is a much better week for my brother Sean. Yeah, I feel that, man. Tua had a fantastic week, and I had in my league I have what's his name? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Probably the best wide receiver in football. What the hell's his name?
Justin Jefferson?
Not Justin Jefferson. Tyreek Hill. I have Tyreek Hill. And then, yes, we did the same shit, Brian, because Romo was famous for interceptions back in the day.
Because Romo didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah, and then once he did, put
Romo behind this offensive line like we had in 2014.
Oh, my God.
We don't get cheated out of that game against the Packers, who knows? Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I don't think this game is close.
I think it is close.
24-3.
Okay.
I think the Cowboys are definitely going to be able to score. I think the defense or the special teams gets at least one score, maybe a pick six, maybe a strip sack, fumble recovery.
I think it's going to be field position. I think it's going to be pin them deep. They're going to have to kick, pin them deep. I think there's the tug of war.
Tony Pollard a bunch. Deuce Vaughn a bunch.
It'll be good to see what happens. I'm excited for it. But what's our next game, my boy?
You mean? We've got the Ravens at the Bengals.
Ravens and the Bengals. So this will be interesting because is Joe Burrow, which apparently is not actually that weird. So Joe Burrow apparently has always struggled in Cleveland for whatever reason, number one.
The Bengals haven't beat the Browns in Cleveland in years.
So sometimes coaches just have coaches' numbers, it seems. Number two, I don't know if you remember, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. Cowboys beating the Bengals really, really early in the year.
Because we were going to go to that game because it was on my birthday.
Joe Burrow, yeah, that's right. Joe Burrow just consistently gets out to slow starts. It really, because he has the Super Bowl year where he goes and they lose, and that's a shame. But they come back and then you think, well, it's over, and then things pick up. I don't know what it is, but I just think he gets us to a slow start. I think he's going to be a slow start here. I think the Ravens run away with this one too. I think he's going to have to shake off some cobwebs. I don't know. It takes him a while to get into mid-season form. So
I don't know about the Ravens running away with it, but I do have the Ravens in this one by like a touchdown.
Yeah, I think
obviously Lamar Jackson is still Lamar Jackson.
They're beat up.
Zay Flowers, and I think Mark Andrews might be back. He was injured last week.
Defense is playing very well. Of course, it was the Texans.
The Ravens didn't look great against the Texans. Like, that game was kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
But, like, they still won by, like, 15 points.
Yeah.
So.
Give me the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is going to do enough. They're going to have to figure something out in the running game because they keep losing people. Because is it Gus Edwards that's out, or is it
J.K. Dobbins?
J.K. Dobbins is out.
It's probably going to be Gus Edwards and whoever they have. It's number 43.
That's facts, Ryan. That's facts, Brian.
Because even the mascot being named after Poe, I was like, I agree.
The Ravens is by concept just a really cool fucking. So yeah. Give me the birds.
Also,
give me the birds in this one.
If you know anything about the city of Baltimore, and then knowing that, knowing that Edgar Allan Poe is from Baltimore, like, just makes total sense.
Huh, I never connected that. I'm surprised they're not the crabs. Isn't it like one of the, you go to Baltimore and you eat crabs? Isn't that like their thing?
Yeah, they eat a
What,
lot
crabs?
of crabs. Yeah, crabs. I'm going crabbing tomorrow.
Happy for you, buddy. Yeah, everybody send a quick happy. Everybody send their.
I'm going to the grocery store to buy some chicken.
Everybody send some happy birthday wishes to Spencer, who will be turning what, fucking 30 tomorrow.
30.
30. God damn.
According to Jack and Shane, I'm an old man now.
Well, you know.
Will says it's a struggle.
How old would you be if you didn't know how old you were?
I don't know. Probably like 55.
Bro, I feel like I'm 70.
Next we got Green Bay at Atlanta.
Yeah, now this would be a fun one. This is my
Turns
recliner
out the Packers
game.
Still own the Bears.
Yeah, shocker. This is my recliner game, man. This is gonna be fun because you're gonna see a lot of young talent here. Jordan Love obviously did a fantastic job last week. A lot of people have been saying this guy is him since even before Aaron Rodgers was there. I think there was a couple games last year where Aaron was beat up. He had to come in for a couple drives. Looks good. I mean, the kid just looks sound. I think he understands the offense.
Aaron Rodgers for a couple years.
Easy, exact same situation as Mahomes, where he's been able to sit back, understand the system, learn, take his time, not panic, and he looks good. And of course, on the other side, you got
go back to being neutral about the Packers because Aaron Rodgers.
On the other side, you got a lot of young talents. You got Kyle Pitt at tight end. You got Bijan, and they're going to run the ball a lot too. I mean, this is a Falcons team that likes to run.
Did you see that move that Bijan put on that Panthers guy this past week? He catches the ball, stops, leans back, and then oh my God, it was clean.
Oh yeah, no, that was.
That dude on stage, and then he split two more and ran into the end zone.
Bijan's he's going to be special. So I'm excited to see that.
London would give up the number 5. So Bijan could wear number 5 like he did in college. But that's 7 jerseys. I kind of want a Bijan Robinson jersey.
Listen, man.
He's just I like him as a player.
Wouldn't blame you. But like I say, this should be a fun game. This is my recliner game of the week because I have no investment. I don't care. I don't give a fuck who wins this. I just want to watch. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
And that's what I've noticed. I've been watching a lot more NFL this year.
You're not worried?
Well, I watch the Cowboys and I'm stressed out the entire time because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But then all these other games, I just get to sit here and watch it. Like, I'm not emotionally invested in any of these games.
You just enjoy football.
Yeah. So, like,
watch the line, watch the coverage.
Packers, right?
Who am I taking? Yeah, I think I got to go with the Packers. I think that I don't know. I think Jordan Love is for the real deal. I hope the Packers aren't too good this year for our sake, but I think they are. I think Jordan Love is the real deal.
With that.
Don't you put that bad juju on me.
As long as they play the 49ers before they play us, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But maybe because they don't have Aaron Rodgers, they would probably beat the 49ers now. So, like...
You know, it's tough to say.
So...
I want the 49ers. I want revenge. I want the 49ers. I want to beat their ass. I'm tired of losing to them.
Yeah.
And they look good this year, too. So... But anyways, what's next, my boy?
I don't see...
Who are you taking, by the way?
About how, like... Oh, the Packers.
Taking the Packers, okay.
I don't know about, like... What am I trying to say? Speaking of the 49ers, we talk about them. They're playing at the Rams. Niners at Rams this week. Obviously, I've been a Brock Purdy... Since we started this show, I've been a Brock Purdy guy. I like Brock Purdy. I liked him at Iowa State in college. Obviously, he's done some great things in the NFL. He got hurt in the playoffs last year against the Eagles, or I think the Niners may have had more of a chance in that game. I still think Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, even if they're playing the Niners. But I haven't seen enough from Brock Purdy to be like, oh, 49ers are one of the, like, obviously the 49ers are one of the best 3 teams in the NFC. It's like Cowboys, Niners, Eagles right now. But, like, the Rams are up there. The Lions are up there. I just don't know how much I trust Brock Purdy in a full season of work. Like, I think after this season, we'll greatly evaluate Brock Purdy more because he'll have a full season of work. But that Niners defense is incredible. Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are incredible wide receivers.
Yep.
And then the Rams, they bounced back against the Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks were going to win that game. But the Rams smoked them, right? And, Cooper Kupp is out, but then they put in Puka Nacua, who he had like 8 catches for like 100-something yards and 2 touchdowns, which is why I picked him up for fantasy. Because he's going to be playing the Cooper Kupp role. So yeah, division game, Niners at Rams.
It's going to be in SoFi.
It's going to
be rocking.
The Niners defense is really good and they have a really good offense. But I'm going to take the Rams for 2 reasons. 1, they're at home. 2, I think because of Matt Stafford's NFL experience over Brock Purdy's NFL experience, I think Matt, like you were talking about the situational awareness earlier with Dion.
Yeah.
I think Matt Stafford is going to have just a little bit more situational awareness than Brock Purdy does. But I think this game is high scoring and close. This is going to be like last team with the ball wins type beat.
Think so.
So give me the Rams 42-35.
Man, that high scoring, interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. What I like about the Rams right now is they look comfortable. Like Matthew Stafford is like, hey, we've got a Super Bowl. We're just going to hang it back. We're just going to win some games. Like they're just enjoying themselves, I think, is what you got right now. They're obviously missing Cooper Kupp, but they were able to. And I think, honestly, if we just look at opponents, I think that the Seahawks are much better than the Steelers right now. I think that was a more impressive win. So I mean, I think these 2 teams are closer. I think they're closer than what we're seeing. Like ESPN says, like it's a 65-34. That's bullshit. I think these teams are much closer than that. I think I go either way. I'm taking San Fran just because I believe the defense is going to do enough, and I think that oh god damn it, McCaffrey's going to have a fantastic day. So yeah, it's going to be a close one. I don't think it's going to be near as high scoring as you say. I think it's going to be like a 24 to 21, 24 to 20, something like that.
Obviously, the Niners have a better defense than the Rams.
Yeah,
but obviously the Rams defense is pretty good. They held Seattle to 20 points.
Yeah, give me the Niners in a close one. Should be fun though.
Brian says, "Is there an NFL team you just completely forget? You completely forget that exists from time to time?" He says, "For me, it's the Saints."
I hear that.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate this answer, Brian. For me, it's the Chargers. I forget the Chargers exist all the time. I'm like, oh, the Chargers. Those are the other.
I think it's teams that have moved, right?
Yeah.
Like, because in my head, it's still
Raiders.
Like, because I grew up, it's still the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah.
But now they're Los Angeles. Like, I know the Rams are a team, but in my head, I'm like, it's the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah.
And also, I always loved the St. Louis Rams. They were never like my favorite team, but like my mom works for Edward Jones, and they used to play in the Edward Jones Dome because Edward Jones is headquartered in St. Louis.
Denver falls off the radar for me sometimes.
Yeah, any team that's moved, Chargers, Rams, Raiders, because like it's like St. Louis, San Diego,
and
Oakland.
Tennessee sometimes will also fall off my radar. I'm like, oh fuck, Tennessee's still there. Yeah, they got.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You know who kind of falls off my radar? Sometimes the Colts, which is weird to say, but like, I'll be like,
yeah, they just haven't done much.
I haven't heard anything about them in a while, and then there's like several people from where we're from who I'm friends with on Facebook who are Colts fans, and they'll start talking about the Colts, and I'm like, oh,
that's right, the Colts, yeah. Will says Niners free. He thinks it's a layup. Yeah, I get it. I really do. Raiders, Chargers, yeah, me too. Will they just fall off, man? I just forget on them.
They need to. Speaking of speaking of like the divisions in the NFL,
yeah,
they need to redo the divisions.
No, we're not doing this. We're not conference realigning this evening. Veto. Next topic. We got any more games?
I'm making 2 swaps.
All right, go for it.
Talk about the game. We got Kansas City at Jacksonville. But I'm gonna tell you make 2 swaps.
All right.
The first swap is going to be between the NFC East and the NFC South. We're going to swap the Cowboys and the Panthers. So now the Panthers are in there with the Giants, the Eagles, and Washington. And the Cowboys are in the NFC South with the Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons. Makes much more geographically sense.
It does make sense. But I don't know. I think about Dallas, and I think about the Giants, and I think about the Astros and the Yankees. Like, I just feel like a Texas-New York rivalry belongs in professional sports.
Well, it's more Cowboys-Philly, right? Dallas and Philly.
Yeah, I guess so.
But there does need to be a Texas-New York.
There needs to be a Texas-New York rivalry.
I would never want to lose those rivalry games against those teams, but just making geographical sense. Also, we're going to swap the Colts and the Dolphins. The Colts are going to go to the AFC East with the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots. And the Dolphins are going to go to the AFC South with the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Jaguars, the Titans, and who else? Who else is in the South? And the Texans.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't make sense that the traditional
That'd be
rivalries
fun.
are there, but Dallas is in the East. All the other teams are up there, so just, like, put Carolina.
Yeah.
But also, there's nothing really to do with Kansas City because Kansas City's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so, like, AFC West makes sense for them.
Yeah.
Like, the only division that makes, like, there's two divisions that make absolute complete geographical sense. That's the NFC North and the NFC West. But anyway,
Any fucking ways.
The Boston-New York rivalry is way more important. See, the Boston-New York
That's true.
rivalry is weird to me because, like, if you look at the history of that rivalry, there's certain rivalries that you look at and you're like, okay, I get why this team doesn't like this team, but I don't understand why this team gives a fuck about this team. You know what I mean? Like, why do the Yankees care about the Red Sox? You know what I mean? Like, I understand why the Red Sox don't like the Yankees, but why do the Yankees care?
Because the Red Sox are annoying and they hate them and they win against them a lot. The Red Sox have had the most recent World Series.
Yeah. Yankees haven't won one since 2009. Which I'm going to keep reminding their fans of. Y'all suck.
You realize that the Yankees are the Dallas Cowboys of the MLB,
Look,
right?
we're not getting into that. I really don't give two squares
Oh,
piss
I'm
about
sorry. Does the truth hurt? Can you not handle it? Who you got? Jacksonville, Kansas City. That's going to be in Jacksonville. Duval. Should be fun, man. I think this is going to be a game.
Is Travis Kelce playing? Is my first question.
That is a good question. He will be back. It says this. Yeah, Travis Kelce is going to be returning. The big question, though, is will he be 100%?
Who knows?
Right.
But the simple fact that he's going to be in the game makes me say Chiefs 24-21.
Okay.
If Travis Kelce wasn't playing, I'm taking the Jaguars. I might still take the Jaguars because they're going to be at home. I think Trevor Lawrence is that guy. He's been playing really well. The Chiefs receivers are garbage. Outside of Travis Kelce, the Chiefs receivers are not all that great. And obviously Patrick Mahomes is incredible. But
Right.
Kadarius Toney is a liability at this point. And like obviously
Now watch him have a backup week. You know, I mean, watch him have a bounce back. Thank you. I don't know, man. This is. I expect the Chiefs to have.
Low scoring and close.
Who you taking?
Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
I expect.
Everything in my soul wants to say Jaguars.
Yeah.
But give me the Chiefs.
I expect the Chiefs to be back. I think that they're going to play a lot more sense, and I think honestly,
hard to bet against the defending champs.
I think the Lions did have a lot. The Lions did have a lot to do with their struggles last week. Obviously, Travis Kelce being gone was part of it. But
it's like their whole offense.
Well, and the bottom line is he's a reliable target. I mean, Patrick.
Y'all really ruining my life here.
I'm sorry, buddy. Tom Brady without Gronkowski was always an awkward situation. I think you're looking at the same situation for Mahomes and Kelce. So
it proves to you how valuable the tight end position is in the NFL these days.
I've been very on the fence about this. All right, I'm going to manifest something that you may or may not like, and people may or may not like, but I'm going to manifest this. This to me is a coin flip game. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a better team than people are giving them credit for. I think they're going to be great this year. I think they are a great team. I'm taking Jacksonville on a coin flip simply because Travis Kelce just started dating Taylor Swift. And apparently, that's like reported. And apparently, there's some sort of curse, similar to the Drake curse, where if Taylor has played in your stadium, and I saw a whole Instagram reel about this, if Taylor Swift has played in your stadium over her tour, then you had a shit week one. She just started dating this man. I think she just fucked up. She put bad voodoo on the entire Chiefs team. For that reason, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars in a close one. That's my pick. That's where I'm going with it.
Will says, this screams upset alert. I agree with you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I won't be surprised if the Jaguars win.
This screams to me a flashback of 2009 in the Jessica Simpson Tony Romo drama, but instead this time it's gonna be Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I saw a thing.
Will was way ahead. Will said the same shit. And she's an Eagles fan.
Which,
go figure.
How can someone so like pure and wholesome be part of such a toxic fan base? I don't understand it. But so like I saw a thing. If you look at Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, whatever she was, her name is Kayla Nicole.
Fucking Brian.
She's like a model / actress. Yeah. Very attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
Someone on TikTok was like, yeah, he used to date Kayla Nicole, who is an incredible woman, and now he's potentially dating the living embodiment of an Old Navy sweater.
Isn't that wild? How life comes at you like that.
And it's just like, I would never date who you want, but like, I'm sure, but like, I don't know.
It's going to come up. It's going to come up during the ball game. It's absolutely going to come up on commentary. It's going to get mentioned somewhere, So, well, there's your show, folks.
Someone had this whole wild conspiracy theory about them dating, where like they were going to date and she was going to be encouraging them all season, but because she's an Eagles fan, it was going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. And then like a month before the Super Bowl, she was going to like ghost him, and because she's got a show in Tokyo she got a show in Tokyo before the Super Bowl, like 3 days before the Super Bowl, and they were like, they're not going to announce who's playing at the Super Bowl, and then they're going to be at halftime, and then Taylor Swift's going to pop out from the middle of the field and start playing, and Travis Kelce's going to be in the locker room like, is she here? And then she's going to walk out, and Taylor Swift's going to do the halftime show.
Just full Marvin's room,
Yeah, crazy. But also, probably not because Taylor Swift turned down the Super Bowl.
Which is crazy to think about.
They offered her, yeah.
Because why would you not? She's the biggest star in music right now,
Yeah. I'm waiting on Drake to do the Super Bowl. I'm waiting on the year it's Drake.
Yeah.
I would love that.
The time will come. The time will come. Well, boys, this is going to be your show. I'm tired as fuck. I'm ready to go night-night.
You got a song you want them to listen to, Daryl? We need to do new uniforms. I don't really have any, to be honest with you.
A song. I'm going to go with Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
By Queen?
Yeah. That's a good one. Having a good time.
I'm going to say Can't Stop Me Now by The Score.
Okay. All right. Okay, stop me now. Mine's better. Fuck off. Brian, appreciate you.
Also, go listen to, if you like country music, go listen to Pecos and the Rooftops, their entire new album. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I was just at their show last Saturday.
Man. How was that?
It was very loud, but it was very good.
Fuck up your ears again, didn't it?
And then I ate at a Chili's that is very, very near water.
I almost cut you off when you were like, and then I ate and you paused. I was almost like, ass? Oh, fuck. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Will and Brian, a pleasure as always. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Have yourself a lovely weekend of football. Go
back to your regularly scheduled place next week.
Go Buffs. How about them Cowboys?
Go Buffaloes.
And Taylor, for God's sake, come to your senses. Don't date that man. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you.
I'll say the same thing, Traps. Don't date Taylor Swift.
We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. And until next week.
It's going to happen when she breaks up with you.
Yeah. All right, bye, guys.
All right. See y'all next week.